Jeff White, and that's a 2013 Mercedes GLK 350. Got 3.5 liter V6, about 302 horsepower, 7-speed automatic transmission, paddle shifters, which is pretty rare for an SUV. This specific one, priced out about $47,000 with all the options. So tax and license, you're looking in the 50s. It has 4MATIC, which is Mercedes' fancy way of saying it's got four-wheel drive. Kind of like Audi, they say Quattro. Mercedes says 4MATIC. So, fancy. It's a little bit sportier of an SUV, a little smaller. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, hey, you know, in your last video, you had a Porsche 911. In this one, you got a family SUV. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of boring. But we're going to make it exciting. We're going to answer some questions. Some very important questions. Question number one. Say you were in the market for this SUV, you had about 40, 50 grand. Could you buy it? And say, you know, you like to go on little drives here and there. You live in California. You have these beautiful roads at your disposal. Could you take it out on a Sunday? You know, your wife and kids, they're sitting, they're cuddled up, they're watching Frozen. Sunday. You're like, yeah, you know what? I don't want to watch Frozen for the 50 millionth time. So you're like, yeah, I'm gonna jump in the car. I'm gonna drive out and take a little drive. Could you have fun? Could you enjoy it? Could you have a little bit of fun? Almost not saying it's a sports car, but you have a little bit of fun with it. A little bit of sporty car fun with it. We're gonna answer that. We're also gonna answer, can you have a little bit of fun off-road? Not anything too crazy. Stay out of the sand. Keep it on the hard pack. We're gonna answer, you know, can you have a little bit of fun with it off-road? Question number two. It's very important. Everybody needs to know this. Well, I need to know this. Question number two. Can you jump it? This thing weighs about 4,000 pounds, so about 2 tons. The lower end of 4,000 pounds. Could you jump it? It's a very important question. It needs to be answered. Very important. And question number three, which originally was supposed to be, can you weld with it? And not can you use it to weld, but could you power a welder with it? It has an inverter. Could you power a welder? Well, doing a little research, discussing it with the electronics department at JW Industries, we've come to the conclusion that no, you cannot use it to weld. It just wouldn't support it, which it's pretty obvious. But short notice, we've come up with a good third question, and that good third question is: would Kim Kardashian enjoy riding shotgun in this vehicle? We're going to answer that today, but you're going to have to be patient for that one, because that's question number three, so it's the last question. We're going to answer the other two first. Today. Right now. Question number one. Can you have fun on road in this car? And I'm on a road outside of Julian, California. And we're going to go downhill because we're going down into the desert. I've got it in sport mode. It has two modes, E and S. One E for economy, comfort. S for sport, as you can assume. And it says that it shifts a little quicker, lets the revs ride out. Throttle response is a little better. so far, pretty fun. You know, it's not a sports car, you can tell. But I'm having fun, you know, so the answer I would say is, yeah. And, engine doesn't sound all that bad. Shifts are a little slow, in my opinion, of what a paddle shifted transmission should shift like. But then again, this is an SUV, and I would imagine that they're not putting that much development into a paddle shifted transmission in an SUV. And it does kind of understeer a little bit with the 4MATIC 4-wheel drive. You know, it does pull pretty good out of corners. So, I'm going to say yeah. I think you can have fun with it on road. I think you can have a lot of fun with it on road. It feels pretty good for an SUV. With that agility control suspension, which, from what the Mercedes website says, varies the shock valving based on your driving conditions and driving style and how you're driving. So if you're driving hard, firms it up. If you're just cruising, you know, it'll soften it up. So, which is not too bad of a system. It's a little bit different than the magnetic ride control that you find on Cadillacs and the Chevy Camaro, the Corvette, that has magnetic fluid in it, and it firms it up that way. This does it with shock valving, so like an electrically adjusted suspension. So yeah, for a small SUV, mid-size SUV, I think, yeah, you could have fun with it if you took it out on some windy roads, you know, on a Sunday, and just with the intention of having some fun. I think you could have good fun. So now that I'm stuck behind wonderful vehicles again, that's about it. That's about it for this part 1 of question 1. Okay, this is part 2 of our first question. Can you have fun with it off-road? And we're out here in desert California, outside San Diego, close to Ocotillo. Kind of in between Ocotillo and Borrego Springs, but there's a little track here that is pretty fun to drive down. So we'll have some, see if we can have some fun with this 4MATIC GLK 350. So do a couple circles around this. Make sure we don't get ourselves stuck in the sand, because that's embarrassing. You have to get people to bail you out when you get stuck. I would say that was fun. Let's do it one more time, just to be 100% sure. We don't want to leave anything open here. We don't want to make do people justice when we're answering these very important questions. Because they are. so big hits don't really bother me too much. But if it was my car, I wouldn't want to be doing too many big hits like that. So yeah, conclusion, off-road fun. If you stick it on the more well-groomed off-road roads, you know, nothing too crazy deep and with too many huge bumps, and just keep an eye out for big bumps, try not to go too fast over them, you know, it does pretty decently. Gravel roads would probably be fun in this thing. See if, you know, maybe if I can find one of those out here, see if a gravel road is a little bit more easy on the undercarriage, because taking it on a couple of these dirt roads out here, it's hit some of the big bumps pretty rough, but it's fun off-road. Alright, it's like a continuation of question 1, part 2. Can you have fun with it off-road? Got ourselves a little gravel lot here, kind of gravel and dirt, probably used for some sort of construction at some point, but now it's just empty out here in the desert. Got our traction control off, got it in sport, and put it in drive, and then make sure, well, this is weird, you can't select manual drive mode, but if you hit the down paddle, it goes into manual. And then, because you're in sport, it assumes you just want to stay there. So, we'll do a little dirt tunage. So, you know, it's fun. It's got the power to kick its rear end around. The 4MATIC, I think, will switch to the rear wheels because it feels they're the ones with the least amount of traction. So it's not a true all-time four-wheel drive system, kind of like a WRX, which even then you can adjust in the later models. But it will kick its rear end out, back end. And you can do little dirt donuts with it, which is, I mean, that's fun. Donuts are just fun all the time. Donuts are fun. Alright, here we go. Question number 2. Can you jump it? It's going to be tricky because you have to get a pretty significant amount of speed to get this thing off the ground for this jump. We'll see. We'll see if we can pull it off. I mean, you could probably jump any car at this one jump. It's in an undisclosed location in the desert of California. But yeah, you could probably jump any car off this thing if you got enough speed. Yeah. Answer to question number 2. Yes, you can jump a Mercedes GLK 350. What you do want to watch out for is at the front, the nose is very heavy up in the nose. We're not going to do that again. That was at about, we'll say, the beginning of triple digits. And yeah, that I've jumped a Camaro at that same spot, and the Camaro was way more level. So yeah, we're not doing that one again. That one was the little squirrely on the landing there. But yes, the answer is yes for question number 2. You can jump a Mercedes GLK 350. Do you want to? Probably, yeah, probably not. But answer is yes. Okay. Now for question number 3. Very important. Would Kim Kardashian have fun riding shotgun in the GLK 350 Mercedes? Well, I think that face says it all. Don't you? Look at that face. It just says it all right there. She loves it. Who wouldn't love it? I mean, what do you think I actually knew? Kim Kardashian? Alright, to draw to a conclusion, this car's pretty fun. You can have fun with it. If you were a guy, had a family, bought this car, you could have some fun. You know, Kanye, you could probably have fun with